Another couple seconds here. Thank you, Alana. So we are recording now. I think let's jump right in. So again, I want to welcome everybody to Conversations Over Coffee. This is actually our second to last one for the year. Conversations Over Coffee happens every other month on even numbered months. So we do not host one in December because we are very, very busy with year-end appeal. So hopefully you find other ways to engage with us during that time. But again, this is always a great time to come together, and we really try to focus on more broad community issues. We like to bring in community partners anytime we can, and certainly your involvement is important too. So I'll share my screen here and we can kick into our slide deck here. We will leave time at the end for questions, but certainly if you have questions along the way, feel free to pop those up in the chat. Alana is going to be monitoring our chat, so hopefully she can either answer questions directly or she can pause us if needed and bring up a question. Feel free to interrupt us, Alana, if you need to. Otherwise, we can address some of those at the end too. My name is Matt Malm. I'm the Community Engagement Director here at Pillars. I've been with Pillars, for almost 3 years now. This morning, I'm drinking my plain black coffee out of my Pillars Values mug. I thought that that was fitting today, especially because one of our values is collaboration, and that's really important here at Conversations Over Coffee. So today we're going to be talking about the life cycle of donations. So throughout the year, we get a lot of stuff that comes in, not only monetary donations, but in-kind donations as well. So those are all the items that come in. On a given year, we'll get anywhere from 200,000 to $350,000 worth of goods. So certainly it's a huge impact on our agency and for our clients. If you're here this morning, you are certainly part of Pillar's team. So if you could please introduce yourself in the chat, I'll give you a couple minutes. I'd like you to share your affiliation. So are you a community member, a community partner, maybe a donor, a volunteer, just an interested community member, whatever brought you in today? Share what you're drinking. It might be coffee, it could be tea, maybe just plain black coffee. And then lastly, if you could share, if you were going to donate something today, what would that be? Since we're talking about donated items, we want to kind of see what your thoughts are on that. Typically, we do a poll here asking what your affiliation is, but it tends to be pretty similar each time that we have a lot of staff, board members, community partners, donors, volunteers. So again, I'll give you a couple seconds to throw that in the chat, introduce yourself, and we can kind of see where people are from. Today's community partner that we brought on board is the Community Clothes Closet. They are instrumental to our operations in ensuring that we don't duplicate services in the area. So today we have Andrea and Christy. Thank you. And then we're going to be hearing from Stephanie as well. Stephanie is an AmeriCorps employee that's done 2 service terms with Pillars. So it's been just about 2 years that Stephanie's been working with us and helping out. Most recently, her service member project has been focused around in-kind donations. So Pillars doesn't have a staff position dedicated to managing in-kind donations. So certainly bringing Stephanie on has been a huge help. Today is actually Stephanie's last day, so this is kind of her final project and presentation about some of the things that she's learned about the agency and how we handle different things around in-kind donations. But I'm also happy to say that on Monday, Stephanie will be joining Pillar's team as our event coordinator. So she's going to roll back in and we're going to get to keep Stephanie around, and certainly all of the knowledge that she's gained over the last couple of years working with us is going to be pretty important to have. Stephanie, I'm going to pass the remote over to you. Here you are, and you should have control. Are you not able to unmute yourself?
All right, that works
Oh,
now.
there
Thank
you
you.
go.
Yeah, as soon as you gave me control, I lost all of my buttons. So I couldn't find out how to unmute myself. So welcome everyone. I'm so glad that you're interested in donations. This is just going to be kind of a little bit of what the background work is, kind of on the back end when you guys decide to donate to us. All of the donations we get are so valued here at Pillard. We really do need those donations in order to provide the level of service that our clients really need to get back on their feet and get going again. So we are very glad that you guys are here and willing to learn about it. So just a little bit of a thought experiment to start out. What do you guys think? You don't have to put this in the chat or anything, just get in thought in your head. What item do you think that someone experiencing homelessness needs most? What item would you donate that would be the best impact? And I've seen a few of those items come through in the chat already. So I hope you have the item in your head. If your item is one of these items, you think the same way as a lot of other people. We most definitely use all of the items that you're seeing on your screen. We do hand out socks. We do hand out toothbrushes. The thing is, so many people think to donate these items that I might get, say, 10 people in a week asking, hey, I need a new toothbrush, but I might get like 100 toothbrushes donated in that same time. And so it just adds up. And we have way more than we can use at the moment of these particular items because people said, hey, I bet they could use that, and they've donated it. So we're set at the moment. Again, we will keep handing these out to our clients. They do need these items. We just don't need any more yet. We need a little bit of time to work through that overstocked inventory. If instead you look at our wish list, you'll see some of our other current needs. Now, some of these current needs like hand soap and pillows, twin size bedding, those are things that people might expect. Like, shelters and people experiencing homelessness and housing insecurity to need. And we do go through a lot of those items. There are some items that we're always going to need. If you just want a go-to item to donate to us, think consumables. We go through an amazing amount of toilet paper, paper towels, garbage bags, hand soap, just to keep our shelters and other programs up and running. So it's really important for that. But some of our other items you may not have thought of, like boxer tower fans. These are used both in shelters where our rooms, I mean, when you pack 8, 10 people in a tiny little room or 55 people in a really big room over at our adult shelter, it can get kind of hot and stuffy. So it's really nice to have some increased air circulation. These are also really important for some of our people in our housing programs, our stable and supportive housing programs, because their apartments may not be air conditioned as well. So it's a very nice thing if we can help provide that as part of the apartment as well. Same thing with the dehumidifiers. So some of the things might be a little bit more surprising. Other things, it's because I think people might have a slightly skewed view of our population. So backpacks, we do get lots of backpacks donated, especially this time of year. Unfortunately, many of those backpacks are meant for kids, and most of our clients are adults, and they need to carry their things around as well. So when I've offered the 30-year-old male the unicorn glitter backpack, they've been less than thrilled. So they really want something a little bit bigger, more that will fit their needs and, looks good on the back of an adult, not meant for someone who's entering kindergarten. So remembering that most of our clients, we do have kids, but most of our clients really are adults. And most of the items we give out do go towards adults is also really important to kind of keep us from getting overstocked on the kids items and still be able to help all of our clients. One of our really big needs at the moment is shelter meals. And it's important to understand what I mean when I say we need food for shelter meals. When we are making meals, we're making meals for like about 50 people at a time. So, when we get like a pound of ground beef, it's great if like 10 other people also donate a pound of ground beef, but it's not going to go very far in making a meal. We need more like 5 to 10 pounds of ground beef in order to make something that would feed 50 people. The best way to do this for us is if we get our volunteer meal providers. We are so grateful for all of you. If any of you guys have been our meal providers in the past, it just takes a lot of work and weight off if we know someone's going to be feeding our clients dinner and shelter. So that's the best way to go if you're able to do that. Otherwise, if you donate supplies like frozen meat, especially those really common frozen meats, again, if you donate 1 to 2 pounds of it, but we get like 10, 15 people donating that, we do have all of the meat we need to make a meal there as well. Lunch meat, also another constant need because we do make a lot of bag lunches and sandwiches for our clients to eat while they are at work as well. When you don't have your own kitchen and you can't just make those things yourself, that does become one of those barriers to maintaining employment that our clients do face. So we do like to be able to do that as well. So, all right. Moving on, best way to know what our current needs are because it really is the holes in our inventory. It's what people haven't been donating lately, is to look at our wish list. Our wish list is available online. We just updated it for August. So this is our brand new wish list, just came out. You can find it, I do have the website there, so pillarsinc.org/wishlist. Otherwise, if you are looking for maybe doing a donation drive or something special and you kind of want to see what would work the best, contact Alana, who's on the call today as well. And Alana does take care of working with the public, figuring out, can we use what you have? Can we store what you have? What might be a really good way for you to do a service project for us, things like that. So she's always willing to talk with you. So feel free to reach out. Her contact information is always on the wish list as well if you didn't get it copied off the screen here. So what kind of items do we take? The items that we use in the highest quantity are honestly paper products. We are going to use things like garbage bags, toilet paper, paper towels, napkins across all of our programs. So obviously we use a lot of these in shelter. Did I hear something?
So another big game last night, huh?
All right, we did have somebody on mute. I'm not sure who it is.
No worries, Stephanie. We should be good to go.
All right. So paper products are going to be our biggest use across all things. We do also help our clients who are in our supportive housing programs with some of these items, both as kind of like a gift when they move in, because the last thing you're thinking of on moving day is, oh my gosh, will they have toilet paper there? So just enough to start them out. Or if their budgets kind of get squished a little tight, drawn a little thin, sometimes they don't have the money to go out and buy some of these paper products. So helping supplement their income as well. So these are used across all of our programs and we go through huge amounts. So basic paper products and consumables is always going to be a go-to donation. We will always be thrilled to get your toilet paper and garbage bags. Always will be thrilled. So we never have enough. Linens, we go through twin size sheets the most. We can take gently used ones, but pillows we do ask that are new, simply because pillows often cannot be washed with some of the newer materials they're using to make those. And we do need to make sure that everything we get donated in is washed before handed out to clients. So cannot reuse most pillows. Cleaning supplies, again, we do have a lot of sites to clean across all of our programs. This is also something that's used especially highly in our supported housing programs, simply because, again, if budgets run tight, they might not be able to afford, that $10, $15 bill just to go out and buy the cleaning supplies. And we do want to make sure that they're able to live in a clean and safe environment. Keeping your environment clean and safe is also a really good habit for rental tenants to have. Landlords tend to absolutely love it. So we do try to encourage making sure they have those supplies to build up that habit so that they can help build up good rental history. So it works on several levels. Food I already talked about a little bit. Again, when we need food, we mostly need food for the masses. So large amounts. We do have several programs with like Feeding America, Salvation Army, St. Joe's Food Pantry that do help us with some of those needs as well. But we do appreciate some food donations from the community to kind of supplement that. The biggest being, again, meal providers, just making and that entire meal. Personal hygiene products, we do use kind of in a middling amount, especially high in shelter use, but not as much as a lot of people would expect. They do kind of, a bottle of shampoo does last a client for a while. A bar of soap lasts a really long time. And sometimes people will come in with their own personal hygiene products as well. Babies and kids, when we need things for babies and kids, a lot of the stuff that we really need the most of are things like pack and plays, which we can use as the bed for young children who come into shelter, who can't sleep in our normal beds yet. And we do encourage families, if they still need it, to take those with them when they move out, because their child is still going to need to sleep in a new apartment. So things like that, or strollers. Baby monitors is another really big one. I mean, when you're in your own home, you can hear, what your baby's doing when you're in the other room if they wake up. When you're in shelter and you just want to run a load of laundry, you won't be able to. So being able to monitor, baby when they're taking a nap through a baby monitor is really important for our adults with kids in shelter. Our seasonal items, we don't use as much of, simply because they're seasonal. So they're only good for a couple months of the year. But periodically those items will change. Right now, winter gloves, not really big use. However, rain gear, things like ponchos or umbrellas are something that we're handing out more of. Sunscreen, insect repellent are big summer ones. In terms of household goods, occasionally we do need to refresh some of our supported housing programs, supplies, as well as supplies and shelter. But we don't go through a lot of reusable household goods. Sometimes these are also really helpful for someone who's moving into their own place and has nothing. When you've already just barely scraped together first month rent and security deposit, you don't have a lot of disposable income to spend on household goods. So we'll help them there. We do, however, ask that if you're considering donating household goods, things like mugs or plate sets, things like that, please check that they're dishwasher safe first. That is something that we're going to need to have for our clients as well. Office supplies, again, less office supplies for the kiddos, more office supplies for adults. Notebooks are a big one. Those serve mental health. A lot of people use journaling as a mental health technique, just to kind of help stabilize. Other people's will use it just to take notes of everything they've done. But other things like pens, lots of applications being filled out, and tape, Sharpies, things like that. Your basic office supplies that you see more adults using in their day-to-day life as more what we're going to need to help our clients out. And with miscellaneous items, the big problem here is we don't get enough of them. They don't have a place in our storage areas, and then they get lost. We don't know we have them, and so they don't really get handed out a lot. So we don't really like as much of the miscellaneous products. And with clothing, we have so many other agencies in our community that deal with clothing. We will deal with some of the more emergency situations, like they have just the clothes on their back and they need to wash those. So we want to give them like a backup set of pajamas to put on while we do their laundry. But we do encourage them to find all of their clothing through our other partner agencies like Community Clothes Closet. All right. I've been talking too long, so we're going to speed things up a little bit. Drop-off locations. The easiest drop-off location for most people is Pillars Adult and Family Shelter. This is the one on Division Street, right across from the post office. And that's simply because 24/7, we're available to, we're staff, we can take donations. So whenever you're ready to donate, we can accept. Any of our other locations will take donations as well, but only during business hours, like open hours, please. A big problem we have is people dumping things like donations on the adult shelter, which is closed during the day. And then until our employees arrive around 4:30, there's nobody there. And if it's a perishable item and it's sitting out in 90 degrees, it's not good by the time that staff arrive. So we do ask that you make sure that the building is open before you donate. Another really important reason to make sure the building is open, come on, is, oh, it went too fast. I skipped a step there. I'm not sure how to go back. So, previous. Well, so the slide that it skipped was a picture of our donation receipt. One thing that we really do ask is that our donors do give us a value of about how much that donation is worth. The IRS says that you can use whatever criteria you feel necessary to come up with that. But we do like that number. That is helpful for us both in creating our budgets as well as in certain grants that we apply for to have those numbers. So it's important that you interact with one of our staff or volunteers when dropping off donations, simply because of that. So drop-off tips, when you are dropping them off, do note that our lobbies are pretty small and have very limited space and a lot going on. If you do have a larger donation, call ahead so that we can bring additional staff in to help process that donation, that we know it's coming. Also, if you have anything frozen or perishable that requires immediate attention, let us know. When people donate quilts, they're more than happy to sit for like 2 to 3 hours before we can deal with processing those quilts. An ice cream cake is not going to sit 2 to 3 hours before we deal with it. So let us know if it requires our immediate attention. Clients always get top priority for us, but we can make an exception if it's frozen food, just to get it down to the freezer and then process it through later. The more you sort your items in advance, the more helpful it is for us. So put like items together. Don't spread the shampoo throughout like 5 bags, put it all into 1 bag. That just helps us process those items, what we have, and put them away into storage a lot faster. So the more sorting you can do, the better it is for us. And there's our donation receipt. So again, I know a lot of people don't necessarily want to have the receipts for their own tax records anymore. We've seen an increase in that with the new tax laws. However, even if you don't want a receipt for yourself, we still need that information. So if you can give us at the very least just a monetary value for the donation, we really would appreciate that. All right, in terms of sorting, once we get the items in and staff have a little bit of time, we do check that items are something that we will use or store. We cannot keep excess items or miscellaneous items. We just simply don't have the space, and they're unlikely to get used if they don't get used immediately. So if we can use it in the next hour, we will hand them out right away. Otherwise, it's not something that we're able to keep, and we will reach out to other partners in the community and see if it's something that maybe they can use. We may have to transport items to another pillar's site. So if possible, drop it off at the site on the wish list that's requesting it. But if not, we will take care of transportation to the best storage area for that site so that it's going to be most easily connected to our clients. The biggest thing we check for, though, is safety. If items are new and unopened, it's pretty safe to assume that they are safe to hand out to our clients. Anything that is opened or used has to be able to be washed or sanitized. So we cannot accept opened or used personal hygiene products, for example, because we can't wash or sanitize that. We just cannot guarantee that it is safe. We do always check expiration dates, so we appreciate if you make sure that you're checking those before you donate as well. Things like food, over-the-counter medication, even some personal hygiene items like toothpaste do have expiration dates on as well. And if they're prepared foods, we might be able to take previously prepared like leftover foods if we can verify the food safety. So that, you know, mayonnaise-based potato salad that's been sitting out on the picnic table for the family potluck for 3 hours, we're probably not going to be able to take that. But if you had a catered event and you have individually wrapped sandwiches or maybe a pan of food that was never touched, we could take those items because we can verify the food safety on those. So it really is just those basic food safety principles that we do have to verify before we can accept those. And that's a big question that we get. Once where do we do that sorting? Well, we don't really have a lot of space for that. The best space we have is actually at the adult and family shelter. And it's this tiny little room you see in the picture here. This is our staging room where we can put items to be sorted through. And this is all typically done by staff. In our crisis housing sites, that's going to be our advocates who are responsible for the day-to-day running of the shelters. But again, clients are going to be their #1 need, which means that sometimes those donations can pile up if clients are needing the advocates at that time. We do appreciate volunteer support in this area. We do have the role called shelter assistant. So if any of you guys are like, I absolutely love sorting things and making messes into neat piles is like my jam, we really, really want you to come volunteer for us. It's a very special set of people who can do that, but we really would love it. And the shelter assistant helps the advocates with those day-to-day back scene operations that sometimes get pushed off because, again, clients come first. So donation sorting, pulling items from the storage areas for clients are a big part of that shelter assistant role. All right, storage. So again, really quickly, this is our storage spaces. As you can see, they are kind of packed. We do not have a lot of dedicated like warehouse space. We have closets and rooms that we really can't put the clients in, so they have no other usable purpose, and cabinets. This top picture up here is a pod that's actually in our parking lot. At the moment, it might look a little empty. Don't worry, later today, we're getting 25 mattresses donated from Lawrence, so that's gonna be full pretty soon. It was just in the process of being cleared for those mattresses when I took the picture. You can see the laundry detergent we store in the little cubby at the bottom of our staircase. So we get really creative with spaces. So when we say, I'm sorry, we can't take that, we just don't have storage capacity, we mean it, because our storage areas literally are so full from the donations we already have. And if we were to use other spaces, it would take space away from housing clients. And that would be another person sleeping outside rather than in our shelter. We're not willing to go there, so. All right, distribution. How do we distribute all of the lovely in-kind donations we get? The biggest way is client request. A client comes up and says, hey, I could use. And then we go find it and give it to them if we have it. So client request is going to be our biggest way. And that's across all of our programs. In our supported housing programs, they're going to be talking to the case managers. In our shelters, either the case managers or the advocates. We do have some items that are just immediately put out for communal use. So think hand soap, toilet paper. Those are just, we use those just to stock our shelters, garbage bags, things like that. Those tend to be the things we go through the fastest, just because we have hundreds of people using those items each day. I tried counting the number of garbage cans we have just at the adult shelter, and I stopped when I hit, we have over 30 garbage cans just at the adult shelter that need that the garbage is taken out daily to weekly. Some are in client rooms and those only get taken out once to twice a week. So that's a lot of garbage bags that we go through there. Other things we do is some of our sites do have needs shelves. There are certain items that you don't necessarily want to go find a staff member, ask for, wait for them to go get it from storage. So certain items we just put out for high needs, like feminine hygiene products is a really big one. You need it now. Go to the shelf, take it, and we trust our clients to use that appropriately. Staff do kind of monitor the shelves just to try and make sure no one's abusing the system. But most of our clients are quite good about the need shelves and only taking what they need. And then another really big thing we do is either welcome baskets or care packages. These are, little baskets put together by our staff members for people who move out of shelter and into their new apartments. So stable and supportive housing will do that for people when they first move in. They use a lot of cleaning supplies for this. Again, just to kind of get you started. Make sure that you have those basic things for the first couple days when you've already stretched your budget with security deposit and first month's rent. At our shelters, we will send clients who move into housing away with the care package with some of those items they need as well. Biggest takeaways, going to just focus on the first one here. So storage takes up a lot of space and we don't have that space. If you are unsure what we need, what our inventory holes are, and you don't want to take up our space, financial donations are a lot more flexible. We can use those to buy the items that haven't been donated and that we really do need. So always the most flexible item. And we do appreciate when people buy us gift cards or financial donations. Bulk packages, when you're buying things for us, I know things are cheaper in bulk. And if it's like bulk paper towels, that's pretty easy to distribute. But a 10 pack of toothbrushes, finding 10 people at the exact same time that want a toothbrush, when I break that seal and now they could become contaminated, it gets a little bit more difficult. Prepackaged care kits are very hard for us to store. And since we do like to be very personalized, not only is our storage space limited, but our clients as well. Think back to high school and you know how big your high school locker was? That's the size that people have to store their personal goods in their room and shelter. That's it. They have to store everything they own in a locker. So they don't have room for a lot of extras, and they really need just what they need right now. So we do try to be really personalized. And a lot of those care kits are kind of one size fits all. So it doesn't really work with how we distribute goods as well. So every donation, however, is really valuable. It just takes significant time, staff time and storage space before it can be used to help a client. So the more you work with us and communicate with us when donating goods, the bigger the impact of that good is going to be. All right, so that's all I have for my section.
All right, thank you, Stephanie. And we are going to hop over to the community clothes closet, and they created a lovely video that I will share so that we can see their spaces and get a walk through how they manage their process.
Good morning, everybody. Just to quickly introduce ourselves, my name is Andrea Peterson, and I am the Operations Director with Community Clothes Closet.
And I am Christy Iska, the Business Manager with Community Clothes Closet.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andrea Peterson, and I'm the Operations Director with Community Clothes Closet. Thanks for joining us for Conversations Over Coffee. Pillars asked that I walk you through how our donation process works. So here I am in our donation center at 1465B Opportunity Way in Menasha. So for donations, it really begins at home with your prep work. We ask that you launder all items as we do not have the ability to launder things here. Donations should go into either cardboard boxes or plastic bags, so containers that you're not going to need back. Please keep in mind that there are individuals on the other end of the donation chain that need to move your items. So please put your donations in either plastic bags, 13 gallons or under, and manageable size boxes, ones that are easier for one person to lift on their own. We do also ask that you take all of your items off of hangers, as we don't accept hangers for donation at this time. So once you bring your donations in, if they're in plastic bags, they can be put into these rolling carts you see in front of you here, or if you've got cardboard boxes, they get placed into this more rigid container that can hold the weight of cardboard. After donations are brought in, these carts get wheeled over to our sorting stations. Every single piece of clothing that comes into our donation center gets hand inspected by one of our volunteer or staff sorters. We're looking for quality things. So nothing with rips, tears, stains, nothing that smells smoky. And we also try our best to keep items out on our floor that are still in relevant fashion trends. Anything that we can't utilize gets placed into this cardboard gaylord here. That cardboard gaylord gets picked up once a week by a recycling company. That company then goes through all of the items in the gaylord. Things that are still in wearable condition get donated forward to other missions, and things that have outlived its life expectancy, let's say, get taken to other companies where they're broken down and used in carpet fiber, wall insulation, cleaning rags, things of that nature. We try our best to make sure that everything we do here is very sustainable. Things that can be utilized by our clients get placed in these categorized bins that you can see behind me. So our shopping floor is organized by men's, women's, both standard and plus sizing. And then we have young girls, older girls, so the extra small to double XL, and then boys is sized the same way. We then also collect seasonal items. So right now, being summer, you're going to see that we have our sandals and our spring jackets and our swimsuits out on the floor. Come fall, that'll be rotated and you'll see the winter items. If you do donate off-season items to us, that's completely fine. We actually store off-season items for our clientele so that when we rotate the floor, we already have inventory on hand to set them up for the season that we're coming into. The categorized bins, when they're full, get placed over here for our volunteer hangers to hang from. We have hangers that come in 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and they prep all of the clothing for the shopping floor. So they'll grab a bin based off of what is most needed out on the floor, and then they will hang all of the items. They are also doing a double check for quality. So they are catching anything that our sorters might have missed. So maybe a broken zipper, a missing button, a tiny hole. They're really that second guard to make sure that everything that's moving out on our floor is of the highest quality. In addition to clothing, we also do bedding and towels. So by bedding, we use new and used, or gently used sheets, and new and gently used blankets and comforters. Blooper. Anyway, and we also take new bed pillows. We are unable to take used bed pillows just due to sanitary issues. So what you can see behind me is our sorting area for bedding, and you're probably also getting a glimpse of shoes. We do take bath towels as well, hand towels, face towels, and body towels. So just like the clothing, all of that gets sorted and inspected by volunteers, making sure that we're not putting anything out that's ratty, tattered, stained, and that would also get recycled as well. From here, all of the items get put onto a rolling ballet bar where they're then wheeled out to our clients out on our client shopping floor and are hung by our awesome volunteer staff. If you have any questions about what we do or don't take, what our highest needs are looking like, you can always visit our website, www.communityclothescloset.org, or don't ever hesitate to send us an email, info@communityclothescloset.org, or give us a call, 920-731-7834. Thank you.
So that was just a brief overview of our donation process, very much mimicking what Stephanie shared about pillars, making sure that whatever items that you are bringing in are of really good quality, are things that have been washed, because we don't have the ability to launder items here. So we would ask that clothing donated to us is clean, same with bedding. And then just making sure that you do take a look at our website and follow what it is that we do and do not accept. Very much like pillars, our space is extremely limited. So it hinders our ability to process donations and serve our clients when we have things like lamps and plates hidden in amongst sweatshirts and t-shirts, because we don't have the storage space to house home goods. So we would ask that those get donated to other organizations that do have the ability to work with those items.
And one thing to keep in mind is a large majority of our clients, more than 50%, are children. So unlike pillars, we serve, I would say, equally, both adults and children. So sometimes there's a misconception. Some people hear about some of our programming, such as New Start, which is an amazing program that we have that helps individuals find clothing for job interviews or new jobs. And while we do serve that, we also are always in need of just general items as well. Things that our clients can wear every day. So like gently used tennis shoes and jeans and sweatshirts and t-shirts, things that are just much more casual. It's always a huge need, as well as boys' clothing. Boys and men, for whatever reason, wear out their clothes way more than women and don't buy as much. So we always need those items, always high priority for us there. Especially,
Ladies,
oh,
sorry, go ahead.
I have a quick question from the comments here.
Yeah.
Sarah's wondering, just to confirm, when donating sheets and towels, especially if they're new, do you still want them washed before donating?
If they're brand new, no, they don't need to be.
If they're used, yes, launder.
Yes, if they
Awesome.
are used, we'd like them washed. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, ladies.
Yeah, you're welcome.
As Christy was mentioning, right now, our biggest priority need right now would be children's clothing, boys and girls, extra small, so size 4 up to 14, 16, 18, because it is back to school season. And with that, I do want to mention as well, in August, Community Clothes Closet is providing free brand new back to school outfits to 3 separate back to school events. So we have our in-house event, which is called Cool for School, where we're serving just shy of 700 children. And then we are also providing brand new clothing to 2 area back to school fairs, one in Oshkosh and then one in the Berlin School District as well. This coming week, if you follow us on social media, you're going to be seeing us posting a lot about our back to school blitz. We have two amazing donors actually that are matching donations through this coming Monday. So for every dollar donated, it's essentially doubled, and all of that money is going to go towards helping us purchase additional inventory for those 3 back to school fairs. If you don't want to donate financially, we are also looking for in-kind donations of brand new kids clothing. Again, the highest needs being like the men's extra small and small for high school aged kids. And then boys medium, we're very short on as well. So size 7 and 8.
You can probably switch to the next slide. There we go. Okay, so this is just a little bit of additional information just presented kind of in a little bit of a different way. Just as a reminder of our donation hours, Monday through Friday from 9 to 1. And then the only evening that we are open is Monday evening from 6 to 8. Gunderson Cleaners is an amazing partner of ours as well. You'll probably start seeing a little bit more information about that. We're going to promote it a little bit stronger coming up here, just because we realize our hours are not always conducive to everybody's schedule. And similar to what Stephanie was saying before, sometimes people leave stuff out at our door as well. And it's unfortunate if it rains, or in the winter, if it's snowing and everything is all wet and has become damaged, then we simply have to throw it away. So just being cognizant of those hours, we're more than happy to always help bring stuff in or assist anybody if they need the help. So please donate.
And thanks to the Pillars team for inviting us to join you guys on your conversation over coffee call today. This has been fantastic. We appreciate the invite.
Yeah, we're happy to have you guys included, and the type of partnership that we have really allows both agencies to focus on what they do best. So we don't have capacity to manage. You saw their storeroom, how much clothing items that they had, and the work that it takes just to manage clothes that come in. So when we're able to direct a client to their services, not only does that help us focus on the items that we've dedicated to providing, but it also gives our clients a long-term sustainable place to go. So we know that by connecting our clients to other agencies, we can then empower them to continue that relationship even after they are finished with our services. So those are the type of things that we really look at to create a lasting impact. And we know that our donors want to make a lasting impact as well. So I think one of the things that we really wanted to share here is that the items are great and are useful, but there's other little things that can happen in between that really impact the way that we do our work. So things like pre-sorting, making sure that they're quality items. If you don't want them at home or you wouldn't use them, there's a good chance that we're not comfortable passing those on to our clients either. We want to provide dignity and best care that we can. So things like damaged items, broken, stained, again, if you wouldn't wear them, we wouldn't ask our clients to either. But we do have some time here, so I do want to open up the floor if anybody has any questions. If we don't see anybody unmuting right away, maybe Alana could share any questions that have popped up in the chat. But this is the part where we can all come together and kind of have that conversation. So feel free to unmic or pop your hand up, and we can take questions.
Matt, I had a gentleman ask me a question in the chat that I just wanted to share the answer to. He asked about cell phone accessories, because we do know that with the people experiencing homelessness and housing insecurity, you're not going to be able to, in this day and age, do anything until you have that cell phone connection. It's so important for them. The problem that we have with cell phone accessories is similar to the problem with clothing. There's just too much variety for us to store everything. So that's going to be, we do love the USB-C chargers, like the ones for the Android, because most of our clients, if they get a free phone, it's going to be an Android, not an iPhone. So if people are wanting to just donate something, go ahead and donate those. The ones we do get right now, we tend to keep on site for our clients to use to charge up while they're there, because we don't have enough. If we got more, we'd start handing them out for clients to take them. But chargers are something that disappears really fast when you're living unhoused. I mean, they disappear really fast when I'm housed at my house too. So I don't blame them at all for that. So that would be a really big universal one that we could take. Otherwise, that's where the gift cards come in. We use those gift cards. Our case managers prioritize. Is this a need that's going to help them achieve their goal, whether it's housing, employment, or health? Is it going to make that impact to help them achieve that goal? And if it is, then it's a justified expense. And so they would go out and they would help find and purchase the correct item without us having to store them. So that's where those gift card donations do come in very useful. To the big retailers, Walmart, Target, Amazon, the ones where you can buy like anything, places like that.
What else? What other questions do you guys have? Or maybe share something that surprised you today, something that maybe you learned.
Andrea and Christy, I really appreciated the video that you all created and shared. Not many folks get to see that back landing area unless you know, perhaps a regular donor or working with direct client services. So I think that was a really, really valuable inside look to Community Clothes Closet. So thanks so much for putting that together. And everyone, if you ever have an opportunity to stop by, if you're donating, it's a phenomenal organization. I definitely recommend stopping by to take a peek and to say hi.
Thank you. And we do give tours too. So if you ever are interested in seeing what our shopping floor looks like, as long as we don't have an insane amount of clients out on the floor at the time that you stop, we're always more than willing to walk people out and explain our services. Because like how Matt was mentioning, we are kind of a longer term solution to providing clothing. So Pillars, anyone who shops with us has to be referred to us by a human services agency like Pillars. And once we have their referral, they are actually able to shop with us for an entire year. And they can come in 2 times a month to shop. And not only is it just for themselves, but if they also have anybody that's living within their household, so if they have any children, for example, they're able to get clothing for themselves as well as their children. And at each shopping visit, they're eligible to take 10 clothing items. And that is in addition to shoes, bedding, bath products, other items like that.
Awesome. Anybody else? Last thoughts? Things you want to share?
Are there certain and this is a pointed question because I know I'm staff, but are there certain hygiene products, Stephanie, Matt, or whomever, that have the greatest impact or that perhaps might not be as heavily used as one might think? My initial train of thought was, perhaps bar soap versus, travel size little soaps.
The bar soaps are difficult for our clients because if you think about if you use bar soap, what do you do when you're done? You store it in your shower. They don't have a shower. So that can be really problematic unless you're also donating a travel soap container at the same time for them. And then especially if they're unhoused, they have to carry that with them. So bar soap is a little bit more of a struggle versus something like body wash or liquid hand soap. I'd say at the moment we're lowest on deodorant. People tell me there haven't been any good sales on deodorant lately, which probably leads into that. But scents, when you have like 80 people living together, scent is important, and we really do appreciate things like deodorant and like body wash, because that is important that people are taking care of their hygiene needs when they're living in very, very close quarters. Another thing that would be really nice to have more of is, for various reasons, unfortunately, we see people of color a little bit more highly represented in our client population than we would in the city population. And they have different hair care needs. So if we can get products for that more textured hair that you see in people of color, that would be very helpful as well. If you're not sure what brands are to get, reach out. We do have a list of brand examples that we've worked with community partners, specifically people of progression, to get some more of those brands that really are useful. If they use the same things that I use, I have type 1. I didn't know that there were types, but I have like type 1 hair, and I can use the cheap stuff and it's just fine. But other people, if they do that, it can cause actual damage to their hair because it's not formulated for their hair type. So that's another really big one that that's a hole that we're trying to fill.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And Alana, something that came to mind for me is obviously we go through a ton of hand soap, so we'll take anything that comes in. But when like the good Bath and Body Works smelly hand soap comes in, that can be really exciting, and people can really love when we have something fresh and new. I think back to about like food donations, and we get a lot of cheap apples and bananas donated to shelter. But when we get like a watermelon or pineapple or berries, everybody in shelter really gets excited about those things. So, I encourage everybody to think about the things that make you happy at home. And those are the same things that our clients appreciate and like to have in shelter too. I did want to take just a couple minutes to talk about some of the range of items that we receive here at Pillars, just to get kind of a scope of things. So, on any given day, we'll have donors stop in with a grocery bag full of assorted hygiene products. Like Alana said, today we're having 25 mattresses donated from Lawrence University. Coffee is a huge need for us, and last year we had 1,000 pounds of coffee donated. So we were literally unpacking pallets of coffee. We've had pallets of paper products. Typically, throughout a year, we'll get 2 truckloads of paper products, and we still need the community's help. A little exciting news: I just got an email yesterday that Essity, paper company here in town, in partnership with Torque Paper Products, has asked us to be involved with their Packer program again. And what they do is, for I think every 10 passing yards, they donate $100 worth of donated items. And I think last year it was like $3,000 or 3,500. I think I have the plaque over here actually. $13,000 of paper products that they loaded up in a truck and split between Pillars and Harbor House last year. So
It was 9 pallets worth.
9 pallets of paper products.
9 pallets twice, I think. So maybe 18 pallets worth.
Yeah, and we're running low on those. And the donation, I think, was back in March or something like that. So we go through a lot of stuff. We need your help. If you're unsure what we need, or unsure if we could use an item, give us a call. We love when we get those phone calls.
We have a phenomenal question in the comments from Jenny. Jenny would like to know what the oddest donation has been at both Pillars and Community Clothes Closet. And since I saw the comment, I've been racking my brain because there have been a few, but Stephanie might be better apt to talk on that note. And then, of course, Andrea and Christy, we'd love to hear what your oddest donation has been too.
I think the most disgusting thing I found is when I was sorting through our really, really old stockpile of things while cleaning out one of the storage areas. I did find obviously used and unwashed underwear. If you want to donate undergarments, we love undergarments. We love them new. Nobody wants used ones at all. And I'm guessing Community Clothes Closet's nodding. They don't want them either. So that was probably the most disgusting ones, but you glove up and you get through it. So the one that probably had the most interesting reaction, and it was actually a really useful thing because we have a lot of clients who bike as their primary forms of transportation. And we got little keychain tire pressure gauges for bikes, which is really, really useful and thoughtful. But just knowing kind of what our staff are dealing with, we do have a lot of clients who deal with AODA issues. When they first looked at them, a lot of the staff are like, "What?" They thought they were something else that wouldn't be allowed in shelter. And I'm like, no, it's a tire pressure gauge. Oh, okay. So that was probably the best reaction when they thought people were donating paraphernalia to us. They weren't.
Andrea, I think you had a comment about the used underwear, and I'm curious to hear your answer.
We do take used undergarments, laundered. Yeah, laundered, please. And just like the clothing that we receive, all undergarments are hand inspected. And that actually, used socks and used undergarments and bras, those all go in our quota free section. So those, we don't penalize our clients for needing undergarments. Those don't count towards their 10 items. So after they go through our checkout area, there's an end cap with items that are free, and they're able to take as many of those items as they need. And then to answer the question about most interesting, we have seen our fair share of stuff, like used dentures has been really fun. We get quite a few used wigs that we're unable to accept, but how I had made the comment before that people hide stuff in their donations, we had like sweatshirt, fish tank, winter jacket. So yeah, fish tank complete with accessories was the most interesting as of late.
We had a good one. It was before my time, but people still tell the tale. We had a farm reach out to us and ask if we could accommodate 4 acres of carrots. The answer was no. That's far too many carrots for us to take. Personally, in my time here at Pillars, we were unloading a lot of items from Giving Tree, and in there was a at-home stool sample for to send in for your medical records, and that was also not an item that we were going to utilize. It was unused, brand new, but
does bring to mind, just to put out there as well, we are not a medical facility and our clients are required to be self-sufficient. So please don't reach out to us about medical grade supplies. There are places in the community that can use them. It's not our clients. Our staff don't have the training to assist with those procedures that would use those equipment. But we do get a lot of people reaching out saying, hey, do you need? And no, our clients are self-sufficient. So we don't need them.
I do want to take just one quick minute here with our last minute to jump down. Excuse me for scrolling. I do want to announce, if it shares here, that we do have jeepers. We do have Keys to Hope coming up. Save the date. It will be Thursday, October 19th. At Bridgewood Resort. So that's our annual fundraising event. Great fun to participate. Tickets should be on sale, I believe, by August 15th. So keep an eye out for communications about that. And join us in October for our last conversations of over coffee for the year. Thank you, everybody. If you had any burning questions, feel free to stick around. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Father Joe says our session was very informative and thanks us very much.
Awesome. Thanks for
right.
joining us. And did you, I saw your hand up. Were you waving, Father Joseph, or did you have a question? Oh,
Here. Father, I'm going to ask you to unmute here. Oh, I can't get it. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we'll follow through. I'll share this information with our team, our board, and I'm really surprised. I didn't realize that there was such a wonderful resource out there. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Bye now, Father. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop today's recording.